Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, into the Heroes CCL pre-show. My name is Bahamut, joined by Justing, and today we're going to be highlighting a few of the clips from week number 1 of Heroes CCL to get you all excited about this upcoming week number 2. Justing, are you ready to go through all of these amazing clips?
I'm ready, Baha. Let's get into it.
Well, let's get immediately into it and jump into Tomb of the Spider Queen, where we saw HeroesHearth Esports go up against Chili Mountain, and HeroesHearth did, well, what HeroesHearth does best: wild plays.
Yeah, HeroesHearth really played well throughout the entire series this weekend. They really exceeded all expectations, I'd say. So we can go ahead and check out the clip here of them in Game 2 against Chili Mountain on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So the clip starts out, and it looks like Chili Mountain has decided to finally get aggressive for basically the first time in this game, and they engage in, but instantly just get counter-engaged by Zergling, which actually interrupts the Wailing Arrow coming out from Sylvanas. And at the same time, Tremor gets the Gorge onto Azurite, basically the perfect target, while Slug Hunter's just disrupting the backline. So pretty much everyone on the side of HeroesHearth just knows what their job is and played their job basically perfectly. And Chili Mountain's just overextended now. The Gorge from Tremor was good. The disruption by Slug Hunter was just too much for the backline to deal with. And it just seemed like HeroesHearth's just all on the same page, and Chili Mountain just didn't have an answer for it.
HeroesHearth was a dominant force in that best of 5 series, and they took it in a quick 3-0 fashion. It was really strong from HeroesHearth. Excited to see what they're able to do moving into our future weekends up against a few different opponents.
So the next clip we'll be looking at is between Simplicity and Diamond Hands in Game 5 on Cursed Hollow. So the clip begins with Simplicity doing what their comp does best and sieging into bottom lane. Diamond Hands decides to get a little too aggressive, but Simplicity is sort of just baiting and waiting for the opportunity to turn. And Simpants goes in, and Anubarak just doesn't have anything left at this point. The team Diamond Hands just was really greedy and maybe kind of overextend here to try to get kills, but they'd already expended all of their major ultimates, so at this point, basically unbreakable fortress that is Simplicity's team composition just sort of rolls through them. If they get one kill with this type of basically quad support composition, there's really no winning the fight for Diamond Hands. They need all 5 members to be super coordinated and on the same page, and in this case, Simplicity just outlasts, and that's it. And it's just, they can't stop them at this point. It's just basically a quad support comp on the core. There's really no defeating them once they get a single kill.
Simplicity really rolled things back in that best of 5 series up against Diamond Hands and proved to be the stronger opponent as they were able to reverse sweep Diamond Hands in our first reverse sweep of Heroes CCL Season 3. So congratulations to the side of Simplicity for doing what many probably assumed was the impossible with this new roster. Moving into our third clip and highlight from the weekend, we saw Granite Gaming going up against 30K, and on Battlefield of Eternity, Justing, things were getting a little crazy.
Yeah, this was a close finish, but as the clip begins, you see that 30K is just kind of reeling it in. They've got the big Immortal, so this is all the pressures on Granite in this case, and they really needed to engage and pull the trigger a little bit faster. You can see they're a bit hesitant. By the time that the Immortal actually reaches the core, it's almost too late. You see Hanzo's still waiting to use his arrow, and he finally uses it and gets a 3-man arrow, which is nice, but at this point it might be just a little bit too late. Liam also hits a huge isolation, and at that point the Immortal's just too big, the engage was just a little bit too late, and 30K is just a little bit too good, and Granite Gaming goes down in this game.
Granite Gaming would fall on Battlefield of Eternity, and unfortunately, Granite Gaming would continue to fall in that series. 30K taking that third best of 5 of the weekend in a 3-0 fashion, looking just as strong, if maybe not stronger, than HeroesHearth Esports. We've seen quite a few great clips already, but we're not done just yet. Justing, what are we going to see from this fourth highlight of the weekend?
Up next, we've got Oxygen versus Storm Esports in Game 3 on Battlefield of Eternity, where things were looking pretty good for Storm Esports right up until this point here. So when the clip starts, they're sieging in with the Immortal, and Lauber gets a bit antsy, but what's really important is Draded's going to come in here and hit the humongous flank gust into the isolation from Nazmaz, and at this point, the team fight's just basically over. The entire team gusted into the wall, the isolation hits all 4, Lauber just wishing he wasn't over there, and he's going to just try his best to waddle back to watch the core fall, because after a play like that from Draded on Falstad, it's pretty much just no coming back from that.
We had joked in the broadcast that was the Draded diff, and going into future weekends, I'm excited to see what that difference is going to be looking like. That flank gust was absolutely out of this world, and it definitely was one of the top plays from this weekend. Of course, last but not least, we gotta get a top clip of the weekend, and I didn't mention how that Storm Esports Oxygen series ended just yet, Justing, but how did that series actually end?
Well, we're about to find out real soon in this clip of Game 4 between Oxygen and Storm Esports. And Oxygen is backs against the wall here with 3 members dead, and Storm pushes into core. But they don't have the best siege damage here when they have a solo range Junkrat and Maiev as their flex damage. But you can tell they're a little afraid to even step up to the core, and they're also clumping a little bit much. So Nazmaz is getting a ton of value here on the Blaze. With just Blaze and Brightwing, they're actually managing to slow them down quite a bit. And it takes Storm a pretty long time to actually decide to man up and push up onto the core. But at this point, it's almost too late because Madara is respawning. He goes in right onto Junkrat, and they're just desperate to get any damage onto the core they can. But it's just not enough. The members of Oxygen respawn too quickly for them to deal with it. Storm just not decisive enough, and their comp just not good enough at core damage to close out the game. And it's sort of just, you could tell that Storm's just totally exhausted at this point in the series, and they expended everything they had on the core, but just not enough. And like the rest of the game, Oxygen's just a little bit better, and they go march all the way over, and the game's actually won for Oxygen in a strong 3-1 victory.
A very strong victory for Oxygen, and a core race or a core call that almost took us to that game number 5. A wild series and a wild weekend of games. Thank you all for joining us for the HeroesCCL pre-show. If you think I missed any clips, or if there are any better clips out there, by all means, leave a comment below. We also encourage you to check out our other social media pages, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter for more HeroesCCL action and memes as well. We'll see you all for week number 2 of our highlights. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you in the Nexus.